Well, Trump's visit to China is meant to tackle some of the world's hardest problems at this very juncture: Taiwan, trade, and the war in Iran. But as Air Force One lands, Taiwan's defense ministry is reporting nearly a week of sustained Chinese military activities around its island, turning the summit's backdrop into a live demonstration of power. So today in this edition of From the News Desk, we will talk about how the timing of heightened PLA activities around Taiwan is no accident. And the message is that, and it's very clear, while Trump and Xi talk, China's military will continue to reshape the balance of power along the Taiwan Strait. Now, according to daily updates from Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense, Chinese forces have been flying combat aircrafts and sailing warships around the island on an almost daily basis. In fact, between May 6th and May 13th, Taiwan's tally shows 72 sorties by PLA aircraft and 59 vessels operating in the surrounding waters, with at least 55 of those flights crossing the Taiwan Strait medium line or entering Taiwan's air defense identification zone. Well, these numbers reflect a pattern seen for months. Chinese jets surge across once respected median line, circle in Taiwan's northern, central, and southwestern skies, then turn back as Taiwan scrambles fighters and tracks them. For Taipei, this is not routine training, but a grey zone pressure campaign designed to wear down its pilots, stress its radar, and normalize a much larger Chinese presence close to the island. Well, each days of map flight paths and ship tracks look more crowded, and the past week has been one of the most intense periods of activities since Trump's trip was announced. Now, the most dramatic spike came on May 7th. Taiwan reported 22 PLA aircrafts and 6 naval vessels operating around the island over a 24-hour period. Of those 22 aircraft, 18 crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait and entered Taiwan's northern, central, southwestern and eastern ADIZ, forcing Taiwan's armed forces to launch combat air patrols and deploy naval ships and coastal missile systems. In fact, in a post on X, the ministry said that overall 20 PLA aircrafts in various types including J-10, J-16 fighters and KJ-500 early warning planes had been detected that afternoon, many of them crossing the median line in conducting air-sea joint training along with other planned vessels. Well, here Taiwan's description is very important. This was not just a flyby, but a coordinated air-sea drill, the kind of operation China would need to master for any future blockade or strike against the island. Now, Beijing has long used these operations to send layered messages, but above all, that it considers Taiwan part of China and is willing to back that claim with military power. By ramping up activities precisely as Trump arrives in China, the PLA is signaling several things at once. Well, the first one is to Taiwan, that no foreign summit will slow China's pressure or change its long-term goal of unification. Second is to the United States, that discussions on Taiwan during the Trump-Xi meeting will take place under a shadow of a rapidly shifting military balance. And most importantly to the region, that China can mount large complex air-sea operations on short notice and sustain them over for many days. Now, many experts call what China is doing as salami slicing tactic, regular incremental violations of old red line which are designed to slowly erode the status quo without triggering an outright war. And the recent surge around Taiwan fits this very pattern, but the timing raises the political stake for Trump's visit. Now, Trump's agenda in Beijing already includes tough conversations about US arms sale to Taiwan, China's role in the Iran war, and two countries' bruising trade disputes. Now, Chinese jets crossing the median line while Trump is on Chinese soil give Xi a powerful visual argument, which is the mainland will not stand by if Washington keeps strengthening Taiwan's defenses. And for US officials, the same flights will help in making the case that Taiwan faces an escalation threat and needs continued support from weapons and training to tighter coordination with other regional democracies. Now, the tempo, the scale, and the sophistication of the May 6th to 13th operations will likely feed into US talking points about crisis hotlines, rules of the road at sea and in the air, and the need to avoid miscalculation as Chinese and American forces operate in ever closer proximity. Well, in short, as Trump and Xi gets down to brass tacks in the meeting rooms, the real-time military choreography around Taiwan will hang over every single word. The jets in Taiwan's skies are not just an exercise. They are messages, and they may help decide whether this summit cools tension or marks another step towards a more dangerous era in the Taiwan Strait.